Hey everyone, welcome back to BDG Reviews. It's yet again March 15th, so again, it's my birthday. I like to try to do something a bit different every year, but there's only so many things you can do, right? So what I'm doing this year, I'm going every day since my birthday, every year since my birthday, I'm going to pull a movie that I feel is either underrated or just awesome, and just, do a list. So we got 42 movies coming up. Um, really? Okay. Some of the I tried to make these a bit different than ones I've mentioned before, but there are some that will fall into there just because they are what they are. So let's get into this. First up, from the year 1980, we got Akira Kurosawa's Kagemusha. This was which was this? This was a co-production, if I remember right. I seem to think, yeah, George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola presented it. It's a really solid movie. People don't talk enough about Kagemusha. In fact, it's really almost like one of Kurosawa's forgotten films, and it doesn't deserve it because it's a really solid movie. And there's a reason it's on the Criterion Collection. So yeah, there you go. Kagemusha, 1980. 1981, we have Ghost Story. I've talked about this before. This is just a phenomenal piece of filmmaking. Fred Astaire, Melvin Douglas, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., all like the old guard of Hollywood, just coming together in a creepy little movie with effects by what's his name, the guy that did The Exorcist. So pretty damn cool to say the least. You get some good effects in this one. Good stuff. 1982. This one is kind of a no-brainer, and that's Blade Runner. Honestly, I just love Blade Runner so much that there was nothing else I could have really picked for this year. It's Blade Runner. Honestly, if there's anyone living under a rock who's never seen Blade Runner, do yourself a favor and check that out. Next up, from 1983, we have 10 to Midnight. This is one nobody talks about. 10 to Midnight, Charles Bronson flick. It's almost like a Charles Bronson slasher movie. It's very rare that you ever saw Charles Bronson go out of the action genre. And this is probably as close to horror as you're going to get him in. But it's creepy. It's just, there's a guy slashing people. And it's up to Charles Bronson to stop him. Great movie. Can't go wrong with that. Next is 1984. If you've watched this channel and you know my tastes, there's no question of what is going to be this, and it is Dune. I've talked about this movie so much. Luckily, it was an underrated movie for quite a long time. Luckily, it started to get a bit of love due to the new movie and everything. So, David Lynch's Dune. Perfect example of a flawed masterpiece right here. And, it's just awesome. 1985. I was 5 years old when this came out, hard to believe. But the movie is Life Force, Tobe Hooper's Life Force. You might remember that cover if you're a VHS kid. I've always enjoyed Life Force. Is it the greatest Tobe Hooper movie? No. Is it like the greatest sci-fi horror movie? No. But it's fun. It's like essentially space vampires. You can't go wrong with it. It's good shit. Next up, this is going to be a good one. 1986. This might be a surprise for some people, but Howard the Duck. I'll say it right now. This is not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, this is the only, George Lucas produced movie I think that lost money. but there's a charm to it. And honestly, I if you've never seen Howard the Duck, give it a shot. It's pretty damn funny, and it's all around a fun flick. So yeah, that was 1986, right? 1987, we have A Chinese Ghost Story. I put this on mainly because I love this movie, and any reason to talk about it is a good reason. So there you go, A Chinese Ghost Story. If you've never seen it, it's definitely worth picking up. Good flick. 1988. This is hard to believe that I was 8 years old when this came out, because this movie has been in my life like for years, and that is Akira. What more can you say about Akira? It's an anime masterpiece. It's what introduced a lot of people to anime as a whole. And I'd like to say it's what introduced me to anime. It isn't. It's what introduced me to anime that's not just like a fun show sort of thing. This was the first one that I ever saw that was an anime that really could say something. So yeah, great flick. 1989. This one is interesting because nobody talks about this movie, and this movie is actually the inspiration behind Resident Evil, and that is Sweet Home. Essentially, it's like a survival horror type Japanese movie. You know, there's no like zombies or anything, you know, but this is the movie that inspired, you know, the original creator of Resident Evil to do a movie kind of like that. The idea of like going to a place and there's like things there. Really solid movie, honestly. Why this doesn't get the love it deserves, I have no clue. Because honestly, it's a fun flick. It really is. Good stuff. 1989. Yeah, okay. 1990. I don't know why. I could just look on the back of the covers, but I'm looking at this list. I don't know why. 1990. We got Jacob's Ladder. Great movie. I haven't seen the remake, and honestly, I have no interest in seeing the remake. This movie's perfect as it is. Doesn't need anything else saying about it. Didn't need remaking. Just saying. 1991, we got Body Parts. This is another one. This was lost in like I don't think this even had a DVD release. This was like a VHS. You know, Scream Factory put it out on Blue, so, you know, awesome. Essentially, you know, the basic idea of, like, you know, you get a transplant from someone and the person you got the transplant from isn't a very nice person, and it kind of starts acting up, if you will. Really solid movie, honestly, with Jeff Fahey. It's a lot better than people remember. Honestly, a lot of people just forgot about this, which is a travesty, because it's a damn good movie. No, 90, right? Yeah, so... No, 91. 92, we have HardBoiled, John Woo movie. It's a John Woo flick. It's awesome. And, you know, I just wanted a reason to show it off. Got this double feature with The Killer. Honestly, I would have preferred it had it been HardBoiled and Another Tomorrow, is it? I think that's yeah, what it was called. Yeah, Another Tomorrow. I wish that one had been on instead of The Killer, but that's just me. 1993. Again, if you know this channel, this probably won't be a surprise to you, But Falling Down with Michael Douglas, I love this movie. Again, this is a movie that no one talks about, and I don't know why. This is a superior piece of filmmaking right here by Joel Schumacher, and the fact that this isn't up there with, like, Natural Born Killers and stuff like that, like, as, like, a cult film, I don't understand why, because this is phenomenal. And I will never stop talking about Falling Down because it's a great movie. Really solid. So yeah, where am I? Falling Down. 1994. This is just in the collection, but The Crow. It's The Crow. That's just a custom cover, I just have, so I can have the blue in with the rest. It's a good movie. There's been talk of a remake. I honestly don't know if it really even needs one. It was perfect for the time. Could it really fit in this, the world we live in now? I don't know. But, great flick. Just a shame, Brandon Lee had to die on the set, so we never really got a proper sequel. We got sequels, but, none of them were anywhere near as good. It's just kind of a shame. 1995, we got Apollo 13. This is one I don't need to talk about. It's Apollo 13. If you haven't seen it, there's something wrong with you, and you need to rectify that right now, because this movie is... There's a reason it was nominated for 9 Academy Awards. Let's just say that. 1996, we have Trainspotting. Great movie. I've always loved Trainspotting. This is one, luckily, that, people... It's found its audience over the years. I actually made a sequel to it. I have the sequel, never actually watched it. But, really solid movie. This is a Japanese Blu-ray. Actually, it's kind of funny with this. The store that I got this from at the time, they just had this big section of used things, which apparently no one was buying. So this was literally $4.99, and I don't know, did people see it and assume it was just the Japanese version of the movie? I don't know, but their loss is my gain. So yeah, Trainspotting, awesome. Where am I? 1996, we got The Fifth Element. This is, people talk about it, and rightfully so, but it's... I feel of all of the sci-fi movies of the 90s sort of thing, this one just falls by the wayside, and it has its fans. It's mainly for meme, for the memes, but it's a really solid sci-fi flick, and it's damn good. It really is. 1997. 1998, we have one of the most criminally underrated 90s teen horror films, if you will, and that's The Faculty. This movie was great. I saw this in the theater about 6 times. I had a lot of free passes, let's just say that, but thoroughly enjoyable, just an all-around fun movie. This is a movie that deserves a better release. This is just it's like a Miramax release or something, and it's just the movie. There's no special features or anything. So, Scream Factory, Arrow, someone needs to jump on this and give us a proper, really good edition of The Faculty, because this movie is great, and this is one people should still be talking about now. This in the same way that they talk about Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and so yeah. the faculty should be brought up in those same discussions, if you will. We're getting right now to the end of the 90s, 1990, and this is an interesting one. This is, XIII by, what's his name? Why is my brain not working? David Cronenberg. This particular release is a bootleg because, we don't have like a proper release of XIII over here. There's like a German blue, there's some stuff like that. It is what it is. But we need a proper release of XIII. And you know what? It's a Cronenberg flick. Let's get a Criterion of XIII. That would be awesome. I mean, that would be really awesome. Great flick. Especially relevant today, like with the whole, the idea of like, almost like how immersive like a video game could be. It's just cool. Just really is. So, here's another one that's not a surprise if you've watched this channel for a while. 2000, Battle Royale, Kenji Fukasaku's classic. I love this movie. The sequel, not so much, but the movie itself. This is a custom cover, just because, my particular Blu-ray of this is the Arrow edition. They came out, it was like a limited edition back in the day, and it came in a case that was like DVD size, and there's nothing I hate more than mixing DVD size cases and Blu-ray cases. So, hence the custom cover. But, great movie. And honestly, at this point, since it's got, a US release and everything, you have no excuse not to have seen that. That is, the Hunger Games, like, more intense, better, older brother. Essentially, everything you liked about the Hunger Games, if you like that, was stolen from Battle Royale. Everything you hated wasn't part of it. So, yeah, think about that. 2001, we got Black Hawk Down. This, again, it's a classic Ridley Scott film. What more do you need to say about it? It's Black Hawk Down. I'm not a huge fan of, like, modern war films. Like, when I say modern, war films that take place in, like, modern conflicts. But this one's enjoyable. Good flick. Now, where am I? 2002. This is a movie that, again, no one talks about, but I really kind of dig, and that's Solaris with George Clooney. This is, from what I know, this is a remake of, like, a Swedish-type flick or something like that. Really solid. I don't think there's a Blu-ray release of it. Interesting story. I found this on VHS at a thrift store. I bought it. I really enjoyed it. About, 3 weeks later, found the DVD. So, I'm damn happy with that, to say the least. And this is another. Someone needs to jump on this and give this a release it deserves. As with the next movie, which is 2003's Elephant by Gus Van Sant. This movie, essentially, it's the story of, let's put it this way, it's a fictional story that mirrors perfectly the events of Columbine. So, it's can be a bit of a touchy subject, but I will say this movie is phenomenal. It's just great. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor for sure. Seek out a copy of Elephant. it has this weird, like you'll be following one character, and then it'll follow another character, but while following that character, it'll go like back in time, and you'll follow them through everything they've done, right up to the point where they met the first person and stuff. It's a really good movie, really good filmmaking, and a really good movie. I can't stress that enough. You need to see Elephant if you've never seen it. 2004, we got one from Japan. This is from director of Ju-on, and that's Maribito. This is kind of like Takashi Shimizu's movie that really no one talks about anymore. People talk about The Grudge. They talk about Ju-on. They talk about like his newer stuff, whatever. Maribito, creepy flick. I don't even know if you can still find any copies of this, but if you can, give it a shot. It's definitely worth it. It's so good, so creepy. You know, honestly, no one really does creepy like Japan. Just saying. Okay, so we are up to 2005. We got Sin City. Again, this is just a, custom case. But yeah, it's Sin City. It was awesome. Is what it is. So 2006 also leaves us with V for Vendetta. Some people didn't like V for Vendetta. I thought it was fine. Honestly, I did. I really liked it. Again, custom cover, so yeah. I enjoyed it. You know, is it like the end-all be-all of like dark comic book based movies? And probably not, but you know, is what it is. Now, 2007, we got 1408 with John Cusack and what's his name, Samuel L. Jackson. Really cool Stephen King story. My only gripe with it is the fact that, you know, kind of like the 3/4 mark, he gets out of the room. Admitted it's all in his head, but still, you know, it kind of slows the story down. At least I thought so. Great movie, though. Definitely worth having. 2008, we have The Ruins. Again, this is a movie nobody talks about anymore. People were talking about it pretty big in 2008 when it came out, good theatrical reviews and everything. We got a Blu-ray, got a DVD, just kind of disappeared. I don't know why. This is another one. Someone needs to save this and give this a really good edition. This is a solid one. It's got like some decent commentaries and stuff, but we need more. We need like the definitive edition of The Ruins. Solid movie though. 2009, we got Watchmen. This one draws a lot of controversy because a lot of people have issues with the changes that they made. I understand their issues, but when you're making a movie of something like Watchmen, you have to realize that, you know, you're making it for an audience who 90% of them might not have read the source material. So sometimes you got to dumb stuff down, sometimes you have to change stuff up. It is what it is, and honestly, I'm fine with it. Let's put it this way. Because I watched this movie, I bought the graphic novel and read the graphic novel. So that's reason enough right there. Okay. 2010, we have one of the scariest movies ever filmed, in my opinion. And, you know, I've talked about this movie before. And, again, it's one that, you know, people tend to forget about now, and that's Frozen. Just the idea of being stuck on, like, a ski lift, everyone going home, like, for the weekend, and you're just kind of stuck there, is terrifying. And honestly, damn. Just damn. It's a great movie, and it needs more love. It really does. I don't know why like some movies like live in like the cultural zeitgeist and others just kind of disappear. That's one that should never have disappeared because it was a damn good movie. 2011, Super 8. It's essentially this is like if ET was evil. That's pretty much it. Enjoyable story. Uh, Good flick, honestly. I definitely recommend it if you've never seen it. If you like, let's put it this way: if you like darker edged stuff, but not too dark, it's a good place. Okay, 2012, we have The Woman in Black. Now, this movie doesn't hold a candle to the original by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a solid flick. Daniel Radcliffe does a decent job. Yeah, it's fun. Honestly, it might have been better if it had never gotten a sequel, because the sequel is trash. But the first one, pretty solid movie, honestly. 2013, we have The Mighty Man of Steel. This is another one some people didn't like this, and I don't get it. This is how you want to see a Superman movie. This isn't, the Superman who's been doing it for a while. This is the one that's still figuring out how far he wants to go with his powers and everything. And it's neat to watch. Essentially, someone seeing like how far they go. And people have problems with the ending, how he kills Zod and everything. It's like that's an important character development point, the fact where he's used his powers to kill someone and now he has to kind of live with that. Was there another way? Wasn't there? Great movie. And I will say right now, unequivocally, Henry Cavill is my Superman. Everyone's got their own. Mine's Henry Cavill. He kicks ass. 2014, we have Fury with Brad Pitt. Great World War II tank film. My only problem with this movie is they have this effect where the German tanks are like firing like essentially almost they're the rounds that are being shot, like they come out like red in the like the Americans, one of them, they come out green or whatever. Let's put it this way. I've seen a video on YouTube where someone took a scene from this, stripped out the music, and put in music from Star Wars, and it fit perfectly. Just saying. I get why they did it, to differentiate what's happening from where, but I found it to be kind of like, really? We're not that dumb. Great flick, though. 2015, got The Hateful Eight. When it comes to Quentin Tarantino's movies, there are ones I like, there are ones that for some reason I just have no interest in. And this is one I was always like, that sounds so damn cool. And it's not that it's a Western or whatever, because, honestly, I didn't feel that way about Django Unchained. I was just like, but something about The Hateful Eight, maybe because they had Kurt Russell in it, I don't know. But I love this movie. Just a great a great memory. I went with my dad to see this in the theater, and it was great. They actually had an intermission halfway through, and I was like, damn, how fun is that? You never get intermissions anymore, but they put one in this, and it was great. I loved it. Really solid flick. Can't go wrong with it. 2016. This is, I had to throw one on here, and, I wasn't going to put one of the newer ones, so, Star Wars Rogue One. The less said about the sequel trilogy, the better, but this is a really solid entry, and it's just, honestly, the Vader, scene at the end where he's just coming down the hall is just so badass that you can't go wrong with it. 2017, we got The Ritual. Now, this is a movie you can see on Netflix. If you want a DVD of this, or any physical release, you have to go to Europe. You have to go out of country. It's the only way. I'm having a real problem with that. I'm really annoyed by that happening. I don't like having to import something if there's no reason for it to be imported. And also, this is a DVD. It was filmed in HD, so there should be a Blu-ray. There's HD version on Netflix. But I'm stuck with a 480, DVD because, some bright spark said, let's not release it over in America and Canada. Yeah, retards. Really solid flick. I can't say enough about this movie. If you haven't, again, I'm saying this a lot though, if you haven't seen The Ritual, see it. It's awesome. It's got this Norse type thing going on. It's awesome. 2018. This one is a movie that's just creepy, and that's the Clove Hitch Killer. Dylan McDermott. Here's Dylan McDermott, right? Yeah, Dylan McDermott. I don't know why, I completely spaced on that for a second. Plays a serial killer who has been quiet for many years. And then almost like a BTK type thing, and then comes back. And his son and stuff is trying to figure out is he actually this killer. Really good movie. Super underrated. Another one nobody talks about. And you got to. 2019. This one is 1917. This movie it's perfect. It's a World War I movie. World War I is a war that, most movies tend to be set in World War II. It's just kind of what they do. But honestly, World War I, there's just something different about World War I. And I don't know what it is, but a really solid. Did this win any awards? I can't remember. If this didn't win an Oscar for something, it's I don't know. Great movie. Now, 2020. Again, this kind of goes back to the same thing with The Ritual, because this movie has no physical release. I'm getting really sick of that. This is a movie that A, should have been in theaters, and B, should have had a gorgeous Blu-ray from somebody. I'm stuck having to get to, have a bootleg copy of it because, just because. That's Greyhound with Tom Hanks. This movie is phenomenal. World War II, Tom Hanks is leading Allied ships and is on a convoy, and they're being hunted by like a German U-boat, the Wolf Pack they call them. This movie should have been in theaters. We should have seen this in IMAX, Blu-ray, 4K, all that stuff. No, it's on Apple TV. I don't have Apple TV. Screw you, Apple. So, you know, if you don't give us a way to... If you don't make your product available, you know, you're cutting your own throat. Just saying. And 2021, just like that, another one with no physical release. Well, I say no physical release. This actually has a Blu-ray from Spain, which I am going to be buying and importing. But that's The Deep House. This was my favorite movie of last year, and it's beyond phenomenal. You know, people diving down to essentially like a house underwater, and like creepy stuff happens. It's a phenomenal movie, and this is another one. This should have like a wide release. You know, this shouldn't just be limited to people like on whatever, I don't know, whatever streaming thing it was on. You know, give us a physical release. We will buy it. Just saying. And last up, 2022. We're still pretty early in the year, but I find it really hard if anything is going to beat The Batman. Just saying, that movie is... That's something else. Something special. So, yeah. There you go. Hope you've enjoyed that. 42 movies over 42 years. Damn, I'm old. But a pretty good way to, you know, spend my birthday just talking about movies I like. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, but that's it for me. See you next time.